One day, a female police officer approached the prisoner and said, "You've got 2 months left in this world before your execution. If you have any last wishes, let us know so we can try to fulfill them." The prisoner, unfazed and even smiling, replied, "My final wish is to spend every night with a single woman until my time's up." The officer, stunned by his request, said, "That's impossible. We can't force a woman to do something like that for a prisoner." The prisoner smirked and said, "Well, if that's the case, why don't you fulfill my wish yourself?" The officer, visibly annoyed but keeping her composure, responded, "I'm a police officer. How could I possibly do that with a prisoner?" She asked if he had any other wishes, but he insisted on the same one: friends. Did the officer end up granting his wish? This true story will give you chills. Let's dive into it without further delay. The officer, named Sarah, was new to the force, having been on the job for less than a year. She was a senior officer at her precinct in a small town in Texas, known for her fearlessness and determination. She tracked down every criminal in her jurisdiction and brought them to justice. One day, she got a tip about a crime in a nearby rural area. Someone had killed their own mother. Sarah rushed to the scene and found a woman lying on the ground, lifeless, with a young man about 21 years old standing nearby, holding a large stick. Sarah ordered, "Drop the stick and come with us to the station." The young man tossed the stick aside, and Sarah arrested him, taking him to the precinct. Within 24 hours, Sarah had to present the suspect in court. She kept him at the station for a few hours without questioning him. Later, he was taken to court, where he gave his name as Michael. When asked about his crime, Michael stayed silent. The court sentenced him to death. Surprisingly, Michael didn't seem rattled by the verdict. With a few months left before his execution, Sarah brought him back to the precinct and locked him in a holding cell point. One day, a woman came to the station, reporting that someone had broken into her home and stolen everything. Sarah listened and instructed her team, "Go to her house, collect evidence, and call me when you find something." Her team left with the woman, leaving Sarah alone at the station with Michael. As she walked by his cell, she asked, "Don't you feel any remorse? You're facing the death penalty." She pressed further, "Why won't you talk? You haven't even confessed properly, but the evidence points to you. No one can save you from a crime like this." Michael just smiled. Frustrated, Sarah snapped, "You think this is funny? Your mother's gone because of you, and you don't even care." Just then, her phone rang. Her team had found evidence at the woman's house. It turned out her own son had stolen money from a safe. Sarah resolved the case on the spot and returned to the precinct. Soon after, Sarah received orders from her superiors to ask Michael about any final wishes. She brought him a cup of coffee and said, "You've got 2 months left. If you have a last wish, tell me, and we'll try to make it happen." With confidence, Michael replied, "My final wish is to spend every night with a single woman." Sarah, angered but staying calm, said, "That's an outrageous request, and it's not right." Michael repeated, "That's my only wish." Sarah countered, "No woman would agree to that." Smirking, Michael said, "Well, you're a woman too. You don't look married. Why not fulfill my wish?" Shocked, Sarah hesitated. She didn't want to involve another woman in this. She told him, "I'll come back tonight," and left. That night, Sarah changed out her uniform into casual clothes, a simple dress, and returned to Michael's cell. He lit up when he saw her. "When you asked about my wish," he said, "I started liking you. I've never met an officer like you. You actually came through." Sarah replied, "I'm only here because we try to honor a prisoner's final wish." Michael asked, "If every prisoner made a wish like mine, would you grant them all?" Sarah paused, thinking. Then she asked, "What really happened with your mother? Did you do it?" Michael's expression changed. "How could I hurt my own mom? I picked up that stick to protect her, but it was too late." Intrigued, Sarah pressed for details. After hearing his story, Sarah decided to help him. She took Michael back to court, where he explained everything that had happened. The judge asked, "Why didn't you tell us this before?" Michael admitted, "I was too scared that day." Thanks to Sarah's intervention, The real culprit was caught months later and faced justice. Michael was spared the death penalty. In time, Sarah and Michael grew close, and despite her being 3 years older, they got married. And that's where the story ends, folks. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll catch you in the next video. Until then, take care